Well, good morning, YouTube. Not quite sure exactly what time it is, but it's light out. I am going to attempt to find out what time it is so I can tell you guys. Echo time.
The time is 6:24 a.m.
Okay, so it's 6:24 a.m. Now, because I'm hot and I don't like to get up and moving when I'm hot like I am, I'm going to drink this Gatorade, which will give me electrolytes and hopefully help cool me down. Another thing is, I don't guzzle this. Can I? Yes. But if I guzzle it too fast, my stomach starts to feel icky. So I just sip on it. Meanwhile, I'm going to stand up and plug my fan in because I like to turn the fan on and sit in front of it for a few minutes while I'm hot. And then once I'm not so hot, I will get moving. But right now I'm still pretty warm, so I have my fan on. That's my fan. And I'm still sipping this Gatorade. Okay, this is how much is left in here. I'll show you about the biggest drink I'll take without my stomach feeling icky afterwards when I drink stuff like Gatorade. So I probably have a couple drinks left here, but I'm not gonna keep guzzling it. I'm just gonna sip, 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 and then I think I have about one drink left. Which it's gone now, as you can see. Now what I do is I get the lid and screw it back on. Next, I'm gonna get up, do something with this mop. Excuse me. Brush my teeth floss my teeth, do my mouthwash, basically do my whole routine that I do in the mornings. Except I have to do one thing before I can do my morning routine in the bathroom. Now, as you guys know, I am fully ambulatory. I walk and stuff, is what I'm saying. But sometimes my body goes a little wonky on me and I end up having accidents, which is what happened to me a couple days ago. So now I need to grab a couple things so I can clean my sink so I'm not brushing and flossing around feces. So now what I'm gonna do, this has all-purpose spray. I'm gonna take that in the bathroom with me. And then this is hand sanitizer. I'm gonna take that in there with me. And I need one more thing before I can go clean that. I need some paper towels to be able to clean the mess up and get rid of it. So now I'm setting the spray and for the all-purpose spray and the Germex hand sanitizer in the bathroom, and I'm gonna come out here for one more thing. I really want my tripod so I can show you guys how I do this. Now, I put that there, close that, and then just so I don't get feces on my hand, we're gonna get a couple gloves, and I'm gonna lower myself down onto my toilet lid. Okay. So first thing I'm gonna do is put gloves on. Put you guys in the stand and then put gloves on. So here we go. Okay. So you guys are right there. Now I'm gonna grab one glove. Do I have to have 2 gloves on? No. I could probably do it with one. However, this way, both hands are protected. So I just pull it on like that, and then that hand is in its glove. Now, I'm gonna get the other glove in my hand, and I'm gonna open it like that, and then I'm just gonna start working my fingers into their correct spots, and then I pull the glove on. As you can see, these are a little tight for me, but they do work. And then I just turn my wrist around and get the back fixed, and then both my hands are wearing gloves. Now, I'm gonna spray a bunch of this spray into the sink and grab some paper towels here. Set those down. And now I'm gonna reach in and just scrub. Now, we're gonna get some more off here. I got 4 squares, which I'm gonna rip into 2 sets of 2. Set the next set in my lap. Okay. And I'm gonna go like this, and then spray, 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 spray. Okay? And then put it down. Kinda use my nails through the gloves to help get it up. Okay, I'm gonna throw those away. Now, it's coming a long ways, but it's still not up. So I'm gonna spray, 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 spray. So that's 5 sprays. And then I'm gonna continue to scrub. Okay. Now, I'm going to try not to use this hand getting more paper towels, simply because this hand has been trying to scrub. So I'm going to use my arm and roll some down, use my arm and roll some down, and go like that. And then with my arm that hasn't been in, and then with my hand that hasn't been in the sink, just really put some elbow grease into this. We've almost got it clean. There's just a little bit left. Okay. Now we're gonna do that one more time with my arm because we're about done. We just need to spray and wipe one more time just to make sure we got everything. And now I'm just kind of cleaning my sink like I would normally do it if this hadn't happened. Okay. Now my sink is cleaned, and so I'm not touching the part of my gloves that were gross from what I was doing. I grab the edge here and I tuck my fingers in like this and I just yank. Now, as you can see, this part is degloved and it's just on the fingers, and then I pull it off like that. And then the gross part is on the inside of the glove and the clean part is on the outside. And then same thing with this hand, even though this hand didn't get gross. I'm gonna take the glove off the same way. I'm just gonna invert my glove like that, grab, pull, and I'm out of the gloves. Now, I'm gonna set that aside and I'm gonna hand sanitize my hands probably 2 to 3 times. So, spray some in my hands. The first squirt I just use like in between my fingers and on my palms. Second squirt has more to it and I use it all over my hands, in between my fingers, and even up my arm a little bit. And then, since I just got done dealing with feces, I'm gonna do it a third time, but this time I don't use as much. I just do like that much, which is just a few drops, and then just use it solely on my palms. Okay. Now, obviously, I used this because I want to give my sink one more once over before I use it for cleaning anything. So I'm going to go spray, 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 spray. and spray some more. And now that my hands aren't in nasty gloves that have been cleaning poop, I'm just going to use my hands to get more paper towel. And then I'm just going to reach my hand in and go over my sink once more with my bare hand. Okay. Now my sink looks really good. Now this is more of a Christmassy soap, but I'm going to use it anyways for in my bathroom. And so now I'm going to wash my hands. And I put 2 squirts in my hand just to make sure I could get my hands nice and clean. And that's going to go up there by my stuff. And then I'm going to turn on the water. Use the hand without the soap to make sure it's a good temperature. And then I'm going to rub my hands together outside of the water and just kind of get it all over my hands. The fronts, the backs, in between my fingers, everywhere on my hands. And then I'm going to stick my hands in the water and wash my hands. Okay. Now my hands are washed, but they're still really wet. So now I need to dry my hands. So I'm going to turn you guys and show you what I do in order to dry my hands once I've washed them. I reach over here, grab this, wipe my arm, because usually when I wash my hands like that, my arms get a little wet, and then I dry in between each and every finger. And my hands are clean. Now, here's my toothbrush. Or not my toothbrush. Here's my toothpaste, I meant to say. Here's the toothbrush I'm going to use for now. And it has a cover on it, as you can see. And I can take it out, and there's the toothbrush itself. But I'm going to leave it in here for right this minute. And you may be wondering, why are you going to leave it in there right now? And I will get to the answer in a minute here. But first, I'm going to put on my deodorant. And this is how I do it if it's a no sleeve. I just put it on like this. And then like this. And then my deodorant is on. Now, so far I'm dressed. I've cleaned my sink. I've washed my hands. And then I'm going to brush my teeth. So, but before I do that, there, I need to take that off, and we're gonna close it. So now it looks like this from this angle. And we're gonna set that on my counter. Okay, here's the soap that's actually supposed to be by the sink, but it was moved, so I didn't know where it was. That's why I grabbed this one, so we can put that one back, and we'll use this one. So again, that's gonna go back there where the other one was. I'm gonna take off the toothbrush or toothpaste cap. Excuse me. And now the way I like to do this is I like to put my finger right here on the back of the toothbrush. And then I take, or I'll put it like this and put my thumb there. Otherwise, sometimes I'll just go like this, which this is what I'm going to do today, simply because it's easier than trying to do it at an angle or anything. And then I can just squeeze, 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 squeeze. And my toothpaste is on my toothbrush. Now, before this decides to fall off, I'm going to put the toothbrush in my mouth. And then we'll put the lid back on this. So here we go. Now I'm putting the lid back on. Hang on, I'm going to try to raise you guys up some. There. Okay, I brushed the upper teeth, the lower teeth. Now we're gonna brush this part of the teeth right here, the front or the side, whatever you want to call it. So I've brushed the upper teeth, the lower teeth, and I've brushed the outer layer of my teeth. Now I'm going to try to brush the inner layer. Like by the tongue. Like this. Now we're doing the top quick. So I've brushed my teeth. Now you may be thinking, so what do you do next after you brush your teeth? Well, I have not eaten yet today, but we're still gonna do our flossers. And these are our flossers. I grab right here, and then I pull till it's open like that. And then I pull it open like that. And then I hold the two ends like that. Reach in and pull out a flosser. Now, I'm going to put this in my mouth because I do not want to put it on the sink. So I'm just going to bite it like that while I close this up. Now, do I have to bite it? No. I could set it down if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. Now, I closed that up, and I'm going to put my fingers, one on the bottom and one on the top, and I'm going to open my mouth and take this out. And now, I'm going to start my flossing. Now, I did this half of the lower teeth, but I still have this half to do. I left off right here, so we're going to pick up where we left off. Okay. The bottom teeth are flossed. Now, we're gonna start up here and in the back. Now I have a buildup of saliva again. So I am gonna spit, and then I will continue flossing my teeth. Just if you're flossing and you don't spit the saliva out, you either have to swallow it or it's gonna start running down your chin. And that's not fun, having spit go from your mouth down your chin. Now I've flossed. I'm gonna throw that away. And now I'm gonna reach almost all the way across my sink and grab my mouthwash and pull it towards me and set it down. This is my mouthwash. Cheers to good oral hygiene. Now, as I discussed in another video, there are a couple different ways you can get mouthwash from in here into your mouth. One way is you pour some into the cup, you put the cup up to your mouth, and get it in your mouth that way. But for me, that requires a finger in the cup. So it's an extra step. Considering I can just go like this when it's just me. Okay. Now, I've done my mouthwash and spit it out. Now, I'm going to take one paper towel. Since I have them right here. This is what I would do with a normal towel at the end. I would take it and I'd just go like that a few times, like I just did, to make sure I have no mouthwash, no toothpaste, nothing from my oral hygiene routine on my lips. So I've brushed my teeth, flossed my teeth, did my mouthwash, did my deodorant. And you guys may be thinking, what could you possibly have left to do? And the answer is my hair. Now, simply because this area does not have a lot of space, I am going to clean out my hairbrush in here, but we're going to go into a different area of the apartment in order to brush my hair. Now, do I have to do that, or can I just brush it here? I can brush it here, but I'm likely to go like that. Possibly even harder. So, you and I are gonna go in the living room, and then I'm gonna brush my hair and do my hair for today, and then I'm gonna eat some breakfast. So, the way I usually like to get up is I place, here, let me see if I can lower you guys some, and I will show you how I usually get up. Okay, so I put my hand right here, and I'm gonna back you guys up a titch so I can stand up. And I go 1, 2, 3. And by the time I hit here, I'm already off the toilet. And now, we're gonna close that. Okay, hang on guys, bear with me a minute here. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me a minute. I appreciate that. Now, while I'm getting this hair tie out of my hair, I am looking down. Why? Because it's easier to get a hair tie out of your hair from behind you when you're looking down and not up. Okay. Now, obviously my hair is down now. Okay? I'm gonna separate my hair into 2 halves. Okay? And we're gonna start on this half, right here, and then go over to this half. So, so far this is all brushed, but it's not all the way done. And this is how I work on my hair if it hasn't been brushed in a few days. And then I'll move my hands up more. So now they're to here. Okay, and now I'm just gonna slowly brush my hair higher and higher until my hair on this side is tangle free. Okay, so this side is now brushed. So I'm gonna brush it back behind my ear, like so. And just kind of go over it a little bit. And then we're gonna start on this ear, or on this side, starting low. And working our way up. And then I work my way up further. Now, as you can see, my hair's right here. And then I just work my way up higher. So now it's to right here. And I just brush out my hair. This side is not as snarly as the other side was, which is nice because it's easier on my head when it's not so snarly. And since I'm already to right here, I'm gonna try to go right here. And then I'm just gonna let it go. And now I'm gonna put my hair behind me and just kind of brush it to the back. And then I brush it from underneath. So now my hair is brushed from every angle. So now I'm gonna do my hair. So how I like to start is getting some of the hair up where I want it, and then I just kind of brush my hair into the height of a ponytail that I want it to be at. For example, mine's right here. And I'm gonna take a hair tie on my hand like that. And we're gonna reach our hair and go around once, twice, and I prefer to go around 3 times if I can, which I could, so I did. Now, it's been quite warm here, so I'm gonna put my hair up somehow. I haven't decided if that's gonna be a braid and a bun, or a bun. I've been doing a lot of braids lately, so I'm thinking about doing a bun. And obviously, I make it as tight as I can of a bun so it does not fall out. And then I go around once, twice. If I can do a third time, I will. If not, I don't worry about it. With this hair tie, I do not think I'm going to be able to get a third time around. But we're going to try. Nope, we can't. So we're just going to do it twice. Okay. I'm gonna grab some sunscreen and put it on, but since I'm gonna be putting it on my face, I'm gonna see if I have some cream sunscreen, that goes on like a lotion instead of a spray. Don't get me wrong, I love my spray sunscreen for like my arms and stuff, but I don't love it for the face. So I'm gonna go over there and look and see if I have some sunscreen that I can put on my face, and then I'll be back. Okay. I did not find the kind of sunscreen I wanted for my face. However, I do have this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unlock it and go like that, and then I'm gonna put it on my face. Now, I did not get everywhere on my face that I wanted to get, so okay, so I've got my cheeks done and I've got my forehead done. I still have my chin and my nose to do. Okay, chin is done, nose is done. Okay? Now, obviously, this sunscreen is not ideal because the reason I say that sunscreen isn't ideal is because it kind of leaves the skin oily. And I don't like when my skin feels oily. That's why I'm trying to put some makeup on, because I'm hoping if I put makeup on, my skin won't feel so oily. But we shall see. Okay. Still feels pretty oily, but my foundation is on. Next, I'm gonna put on some blush. Normally, I don't use those brushes, but it's the one I grabbed, so it works. Then I'm just gonna blendy blend, 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 blendy blend. Okay. I put this shade right here on. And this is what it looks like on my eyes. So, as far as I can tell, this is just a glitter. So, we're gonna try putting some of this shade on. Okay, that's pretty. There. And again, this is the Euphoria eyeshadow palette. Now, I was awake a lot last night. So, and I can't tell if I have bags under my eyes. So, just in case, we're gonna put some of this on, like this one. We're just gonna put a great big streak across my the lower part of my eye, and another one like that. And then we're gonna close that. Now, I'll show you one way on this eye and another way on this side to blend it. This is the first way. Blend, 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 blend. Okay? That's the first way. Notice, on this side, I did not use any blending tools but my fingers. Okay? And this is another way. Blend, 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 blend. Okay? That's how I did it on this side, is I just now, so I can make sure I blended it good, I'm gonna go like that. And then so I did blend it good. And then I just stick that back on top. Okay. Now this is tricky, especially if you cannot see what you are doing, but this is how I do it. Is it perfect? No. But does it work? You better believe it does. Now I just roll that back in. Put the cap back on. And eyeliner is done. I'm gonna go grab my magnification mirror and look in the mirror, see how things look. And then we'll finish my makeup face. And then I'll take meds and we'll eat.